What's up? Welcome back to the Harley Jay Way podcast. I am your host, Harley Jay. I think this microphone is not perfect height. I also think that last time I was at a different height than I am. So I'm currently adjusting the microphone if you're listening. But again, if you're listening, this podcast is now on video on YouTube. Again, link in the show notes. But yes, this episode is not going to be one-to-one me talking to you. This episode is going to be a really cool, really fun episode. A couple weeks ago, I got the chance to interview an incredible guy. And we had been working towards this interview for a long time. Like, there had been many dates that we were going to do the interview, but then stuff happened and came up, and then it was a very long process of finding an actual date to do the interview. But I finally able to do this. So I got to interview an incredible guy. Now, if you're looking at the title, you probably already know who it is, but you also probably don't really know who he is. You probably know his name, but I'll get to his name in a minute if you haven't read it, because I kind of want it to be like a big reveal, even though you probably already saw it and you probably already know. But I'm interviewing a guy and who you probably don't know his name by his name. If I just said his name, you probably wouldn't know who he is, but you probably know his work. So, if you ever have you seen that movie Missing? Came out beginning of 2023. It's with Storm Reed and Nia Long. I think that's her name. Yeah, I think you might know it. If you don't know that one, you probably know the prequel to that movie, Searching, which came out I think 2018. I talk about all of the dates in the actual interview. But the guy, there's this incredible guy from behind this whole film, behind the film series, and his name is Adam Sidman. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm not 100% sure. I was a little nervous when I was doing this interview, but yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll get into that in a second. But basically, he runs this company called Baslevs. Baslevs, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not that good at pronouncing words. I'm sorry if I mispronounce anything. But any film that you've ever really seen, or all the popular films that take place on a computer screen, where the whole film is through the eyes of the computer screen, those films are called screen life films. He's made all the big ones. He was kind of the one who invented all those. He was actually the cinematographer on the early ones, and now he's executive producer, because he's running the main company behind all of them. And I think that's awesome. That is truly awesome. And I don't know, I think it's just really cool that we're able to see a new age of films, and it's not just these big Hollywood blockbusters where you're seeing superheroes punch bad guys. And of course, that's really cool. I love Marvel movies and DC movies, and it's fun. They're really fun. But the cool thing is now cinema is evolving into stuff like Barbie and Oppenheimer. I will discuss that in a later episode. Sorry, but this episode has to come out now because this is an incredible interview. And I just want to, before I play the interview for you, I want to make a quick note. This interview was filmed way before the actors and writers strike. And I completely support them, and I will probably also do an episode on them soon. But this is an interview that I was working on for a long time, and I don't know if Adam has done any acting or writing. He probably has, but still, just that's a quick note. This was all done before the strike. I fully support the actors on strike. I am working to even actually go on the picket lines, and I'm gonna possibly interview them on them. Wow, I'm starting a lot. Interview them on the picket lines, possibly. Don't put your hopes up for that. Don't hold your hopes up. There's already a lot of people who have done that. But I just wanted to see what people have to say, and I kind of want to be there firsthand. And so yeah, I fully support the actors and writers strike. And I definitely I'll link some stuff to support them in the description and show notes. But yeah, let's get into this episode. For now, this is the last time we're going to be hearing me, because once the actual interview ends, the whole episode is going to be over. So Yeah. But without further ado, let's roll that intro and then get right into the into the intro. Sorry, into the interview. Okay, roll the intro. Here we go. Welcome to the Harley J Way. The Harley J Way. I'm your host, Harley J. Let's jump right in. Welcome back to the Harley J Way. My name is Harley J. I'm your host. Welcome back to season 5. This is episode 2, and we are with the incredible
Adam Sidman, it's a pleasure to be here.
Cool. So basically, I don't even. This guy is so cool, and this episode has been probably about a month and a half in the working. So happy that we're finally able to do this. But
Same here.
So Adam, tell us a little bit about what you do. What is your
So, so I run a Timur Bekmambetov's production company, Basilevs, and we produce a range of what I would call high concept, low budget, independent feature films. We also do studio feature films and doing things in other formats as well. And most notably, we've done films in this format we call Screen Life, including Unfriended and Searching, which have led to some pretty exciting franchises.
What's been your favorite film to do?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't know if I've actually ever thought about that, but I what I love about working on these films is just being involved in every step of the production process, and having projects overlap while something is casting, something else is in post production, and while something else is in production, we're looking to find the right director. And I really love all of those aspects of putting together feature films.
Cool. What's been your biggest film so far?
Probably the most successful in the box office, I believe, was Searching. It might have also been Unfriended. Searching was released by Sony in, I believe, 2018 and did mid $60 million worldwide box office. And same with
Searching and the follow-up Missing are incredible. Y'all should go check it out if you haven't seen the films. Best film ever. So, well, some of
Thanks, man.
the best films ever. But and I don't. Well, we can talk a little bit about those two films a little later. Because I think, and I would say those are really the most well known right now. Because at least Missing is very new, and a lot of people are reminded of Searching and kind of are rewatching Searching because of Missing. But so you're a producer, you're an executive producer for most films. So have you ever done anything else on films?
Um, on the film Unfriended, I was actually the director of photography. So I put together um, the the unique camera system to be able to film this movie that takes place entirely on computer screens. And at the time, we had no idea how to do it. So I had to basically invent something so that we could capture it and capture it in a very genre scary way and relinquish some of the controls over to the actors who were filming themselves. And that was a really fun experience as well.
And so can you tell us like what was like the process, like what's the actual setup for making a film like that? Because of course I think the basis would just be you could always have the characters recording themselves or screen recording, but I know it's more than that. So what's the setup? If you can tell me that.
Yeah, and we've evolved the process quite a bit over the years, and partially as the technology has changed. With the film Unfriended, we filmed it in, I think, 2012 or 2013, and Skype and video chatting wasn't as strong as it is today. So we filmed it entirely in one house and had each character in a different room within the house, and they were all connected via analog wires so that they could see each other and hear each other. And what was great about using this analog technology so they could see and hear each other, is there was no delay and nothing ever, for the most part, broke down. But now, as internet connections get better, as cell phone connections get better, we're able to film screen life films around the country or around the world simultaneously. We've had units in New York and Los Angeles operating simultaneously, where we have an actor with a camera mounted to a cell phone or a laptop um, in one location, and the production crew somewhere else, along with another actor. And the delay has gotten much more manageable. And when there are problems, sometimes those problems are natural and introduces some unique elements into what's being recorded.
So for at least I understand that now, but and is that the same thing? Is it the same thing for like searching and missing? Because are the two actors acting against each other and on the video call scenes? Are they acting against each other, or are they just recording each part separately and then putting them together in the editing room?
We can do it both ways, searching and missing, with more shooting one actor at a time, but there's also times we do both actors simultaneously. Um, One thing we've done as part of this process is we'll pre-visualize the entire film, and we'll have temp actors or the director or editors perform the roles, and we'll edit the movie, and then we have a time frame so we can have the other actors act against each other. Or sometimes we'll have an opposing actor just available on a phone call. We're not recording them, but we can get their performance, and we can have a real live actor for them to act against. Then we go and we film the other side. When we first filmed Unfriended, we thought it might be super critical that everything was exactly in sync, but we later found out in the editing that it's actually rather forgiving in terms of performance being exactly synchronized, and that we can edit, we can add little spaces and gaps and jump frames much more than what we had originally imagined.
I like that. But so how for at least because I know over time you've stepped up to this position in the company that you work at into where you are now. So I guess my guess would be that when you started with Unfriend, you were the DP. So you were very close. You were basically doing everything. But now you're doing less and less and less. Is that true?
I still like to be involved in every project. In some projects, I'm much more involved. In some projects, I'm less involved. If we have a really great creative team that can go off and run it, that's great. And sometimes I'm, in the trenches doing, some very minute detail, and I really love that. And it really just depends on the project and the team that we've already assembled and what stage it is.
I know I'm kind of backtracking, but going back to the whole thing about the previs is so I saw all the previs on the not the blue not the Blu-ray or the iTunes bonus features and all that kind of stuff. And it was so good. So what's really the process for that? And does it happen simultaneously with casting, or does it happen before everything, or is there another step in the process that happens at the same time as the previs?
Well, we like to do the previs while we're finalizing the screenplay, so that we
Okay.
can do the previs, we can test it out with an audience, with friends, with family, and we can show them, and we can see what's working, what's clear, what's not clear. We can work on pacing. We can decide if the scene is necessary or if we're missing certain content, and that will change how we want to write the screenplay. It may happen simultaneously during casting, but because the previs is a very crude and rough thing, it's generally not something we would want to share with the potential cast, because it might just be confusing in terms of what the final quality is. But really, the previs editing is just a step in the process of putting together the film. Previs in a traditional film, you put together and you just completely throw out. Once you shoot it, you use it as a reference. But with these Screenlight films will just build on top of that. So once we do the principal photography, we'll insert the photography into that previs, and then that previs becomes the editorial of the movie.
I actually think that's a really good strategy for making a film. But I think definitely my two favorite films of yours are definitely Searching and Missing. And I think I think the most people have seen those films because it's probably the ones with the biggest stars. I would guess. For example, I don't even want to list the cast because I think I might miss someone. But what's your experience working on those films, on those two films, Searching and Missing? My guess is you are more involved with Searching than you were Missing, but how were you involved? What did you do exactly? What were your jobs? What were, other than just being the executive producer and kind of making sure and doing basically some production stuff, what were you really doing the most?
Yeah, in Missing, we had a really fantastic team, led by the directors of the original film, uh, Will and Nick Johnson, Will Merrick,
Weren't they the
and a great.
editors of the first film?
They were the editors of
And then
Searching, and they worked very closely with the producers and the director of the original, Sev Ohani and Natalie Kasabian, and Anish Chaganti was the director, and they were really a fantastic team to put together. Searching was, much more hands-on, on, a more regular basis, and oversaw the script development, and I was on set every day, and helping to figure out some of the issues in post production as it came along. And was again very fortunate to work with such a strong creative team, um, that pushed that film forward very well.
So what's your favorite scene from either Missing or Searching?
My favorite scene from Missing, which I believe was an idea of either Will or Nick, was the "Hey Siri" moment where June. Yeah,
I
I think
found some web
mine did
results.
too. I
I
have
can
to
show them if
dismiss
you
it.
ask again from your iPhone.
That's fun.
Yeah, in our house we have a lot of these smart devices, so we
Yeah.
we try not to ever mention those names
I have to say that's
by
probably
name.
I have to say that's probably one of the best. Okay, so
And I guess the fact that it just worked with me over Zoom demonstrates that that is a very believable and thing that could happen. That I could say those words HEYSIRI. I don't even want to say it out loud, and it activates on your phone and could cause your phone to do something.
got it. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna play a little game, a little
Sure.
Searching and Missing quiz game. I'm gonna read you some quotes, first from Searching and then from Missing, and you're gonna tell me what character says the line. And it's pretty simple, but so the first one is from Searching. I didn't know her. I didn't know my daughter.
That's obviously John Cho, David
Yes.
Kim.
And this one should be pretty simple. Everybody's grounded.
I think that's June's mom,
So
right?
that's also David Kim from Searching. And
Okay.
you think of that. Do you know when the film that takes place and why the character's saying that?
What was the line again?
Everybody's grounded.
I forget.
The answer is upon being pranked by the scary maze game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. This next one should be very, very simple, and then we'll move on to some missing ones. My dad doesn't know I stopped playing the piano.
My dad does say again?
My dad doesn't know I stopped going to piano.
Oh, it's of course Margot, played by
Yes.
Michelle Waugh.
Yes. Okay. Now we have a few quotes from Missing. First one. You ready for this?
Sure.
No, that's the quote.
Oh, say it again.
You ready for this? It might be a text message.
I think it's I think that's June right before the party or Vina. I forget.
It's one of the two people you just mentioned.
I'm gonna go with Vina.
Correct. This next quote comes only probably less than a minute later after that quote. Let's go.
I think that just appears on screen.
Yeah,
it's either June or it just appears on screen. I guess she types it and this really amazing montage begins.
Yes. So it's right after the Vina quote, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure correct, as June is typing "Let's go," the trackpad the typing turns into the title card for Missing. If I'm correct. Don't know for sure. Final quote. I know you're in summer vacay mode, but do you have a second?
I don't know.
Again, these might be text messages.
Is it June again? I don't know.
Oh, you're close.
Is it Vina?
I know you're in summer vacay mode, but do you have a sec?
I forget.
It's Kevin.
Okay.
Okay, now I want to ask you questions about Missing and Searching. A few more questions. Who would you say was the best not the best actor, but the funniest person on set? Maybe not even an actor. The funniest person.
Missing, I wasn't on set. Again, we had this really great creative team with Will and Nick and Seb and Anish and Natalie. So they had the pleasure too. Not for Missing.
No, okay, so then we'll go for Searching. For Searching, who was the funniest person on set?
I think John Cho just brought so much energy to the film, into the set, and he was a real leader on set, and he was also very professional, and I think it was a real pleasure to work with him.
Yeah. My next question is, what is one tip or piece of advice that you would give to anyone who was doing anything creative, or even related to something creative? What would be your advice?
It's a good question. I think it depends a little bit on everybody and where they are, but just take a chance to be involved with people you've never worked with or on new projects, and try to give everything you can with whatever time that you have available. And a lot of projects, they might not have green light or they might not have funding yet, so whatever you can do to show that you're as involved and invested in the project as the rest of the people, because sometimes everybody else is in the same boat. So to the extent that you're able to do what you can to be involved for the sake of being involved, and hopefully projects come together and you can be part of it once they really take off.
Cool. Well, I just want to say thank you for this incredible interview. This was honestly super fun. I know this is a shorter interview, but if y'all want to see a longer interview, maybe that could possibly happen. Maybe. I'm just saying maybe. But this was really fun. Thank you so much, Adam.
I had a lot of fun, and I'm not sure what my test result was on the quotes, but I enjoyed it.
Yes. But thank you all so much for watching or listening. And yeah, I'll see you on the next episode.
Okay, take care.